Good morning. I'm talking to you from Rato Monastery in the south of India. It's May 1st. It's a beautiful day here. We are under lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. And we are trying to make use of this time to bring about some kind of change in our minds. That's what meditation is. And the process by which we do that is to think about something, to analyze, to contemplate, and have the thought process bring about a change in our perception. If we're working towards developing compassion, compassion is the wish to remove the suffering of others. We work to recognize the suffering that others are experiencing. We work to recognize the suffering that we ourselves experience. And we work to recognize our dependence on others, and we work to recognize and develop a feeling of responsibility towards removing the suffering of others. Those steps are gone through by me alone, sitting and thinking through the process, understanding the suffering that others are experiencing, understanding that because I understand my own suffering, my own discomfort with my situation. And just as I wish to remove that, I wish to remove the suffering that others are experiencing. Now, compassion, that wish to remove the suffering of others, is a quality that an enlightened being, a fully enlightened Buddha, would possess. And if you were to take the compassion of all Buddhas, the infinite, fully enlightened beings, if you were to take that quality of wishing for the freedom from suffering of all others, and if you were to give that a shape, that would be Avalokiteshvara. Avalokiteshvara is that quality of compassion of all enlightened beings. Now, compassion, I don't want to say is merely, but is the wish to remove the suffering of others. And I say that because it's a quality that inhabits one. It's not the effective ability to remove that suffering. It's the effective wish to remove that suffering. It is said that in, let's say, mythical terms, Avalokiteshvara, recognizing the suffering experienced by all sentient beings, a tear came to his eye. Within that tear was Tara. And Tara assumed the responsibility of engaging in the removal of the suffering of others. It was the action, the bringing to action that compassion. And so when we work at cultivating any kind of a meditation on Tara, essentially what we are working to do is to develop compassion. Essentially what we are doing is based on that wish to remove the suffering of others, developing a determination to act upon it, to engage in the removing of suffering of others. And it is with that attitude that we engage in the recitation of her mantra, Om Taretu Taretu Svaha. thinking about these things is meditation on Tara. It's not something that I can lead you through in a sort of plotting way. It's something that we have to do, that I have to do by myself. I have to think about the suffering that others are experiencing. I have to really consider how dependent I am on others. I have to really understand what suffering is from my own experience of it. And I have to thereby develop the determination to remove that suffering, develop the wish to remove that suffering. That I do, thinking. That I do by myself, going through this process of thought, of analysis. And then I can conjure up the actual wish to act upon that attitude of compassion. That's where I can think of Tara. Pray to her, reciting the mantra of Tara, thinking, may I be able to, with your blessings, engage in the actual removal of the suffering that is being experienced by so many. May I actually engage in the actions necessary to provide others with the happiness they seek, the separation from the suffering they're experiencing. This working at cultivating these virtuous attitudes, at suppressing, not suppressing, but diffusing our more selfish, self-centered tendencies, is the process of meditation, is a process that we have to engage in by ourselves, by means of our own experiences, our own thought processes. And when we come to an end, when we come to an actual feeling of responsibility towards others, when we come towards a feeling of wishing to remove their suffering, when we come towards a feeling of wishing to engage in the process of helping others, we hold on to that. We sit with that. Let it imbue our whole being. And when that begins to fade, we engage again in the analytical process that conjures up that feeling of responsibility towards others. And so we go between one technique and the other, and thereby bring about true change in our minds. Thank you.